Well, here we are, about to review the Lazer new jet. Well, not new, but an old jet being released, the last release of the Smuggler's Run update. Before we get into it, I just wanted to take a little brief moment to talk about a small oversight by Rockstar. Note in the helmets area, the little note here. Cycle between the helmets you have purchased. You can also set one as your default bike helmet for auto-equipping on motorcycles, if not already wearing one. Okay. That needs to be they need to have a category for flight helmet. I do have that flight helmet, and these are newly available flight helmets, but they don't get the same level of decency or level of level of prominence as the bike helmet does. I'm sure this came with the motorcycles DLC, but the fact that we had a plane DLC just means that we needed an aircraft helmet category. Just a little note on that. So let's get to this review. Here it is, the Lazer. The P996 Lazer has been in the game since the beginning. Note that there's no unlock price, just 6.5 million. I will not be buying this. In fact, I will recommend no one buy this, but I'm going to do the review anyway. Also note this. Don't even buy it at 50% off. At 50% off, it'll be 3.25 million. Already a $250,000 more expensive than the Hydra, which is a far better aircraft overall. Even at 75% will be 1.625 million. What does this plane give you above and beyond the Hydra? That's an open question. What we do know is that it apparently has the third highest top speed and the third highest acceleration. The two higher top speed are the Starling and the Hydra, and the third highest acceleration on the acceleration side, the Starling and the Besra have better acceleration. Let's get in one for our test flight. I'm standing on one now. There is a Hydra right next to it. Not much difference. That's a Pegasus Hydra, by the way, with a plain default coat of paint. The missiles on the end are one good example of a way to differentiate. This aircraft can be destroyed with 2 explosive rounds, unlike many of the Smuggler's Run planes. In addition, if you own the aircraft hangar at Fort Zancudo, these planes are very easy to get. I stole this one myself and received a 2-star wanted level for my trouble. No pursuing aircraft, and it was easy something to steal. Now that said, it took maybe 2 bullets from small arms fire taking it out. I don't think that that's too uncommon. The handling of this aircraft is good. This is a full turn to the max stick. Okay, inverted roll. So as you can see, it's not as tweaky as some of the new aircraft with the handling upgrades, where you can, in some sense, get out of control of those aircraft very quickly because it turns, without a lot of training, it's hard to control. This aircraft used to be a little bit more tweaky, but they mellowed it out after a while. It has a pleasant handling, and the plane doesn't want to get out of control very easily. Landing is a little bit more tricky, and also doing strafing fire can be tricky. Say you're coming in on a tank, for example. Like, you have to get relatively close with these armaments to be able to take it out. You might have to do a couple passes. Tanks are vulnerable from the top, so you'd want to get some altitude and come do a dive bomb, take it out that way. For attacking land targets, it is recommended to pull out the landing gear if you need some control and speed reduction for coming in on targets. It has the normal missiles and missiles with the homing off. I'm going to take this aircraft in. I wonder if my Hydra despawned. And then we'll take up the Hydra for comparison. As you can see, not the best at landing, but you do need some space. Because this aircraft is quick and doesn't want to slow down. I found with some of the new smugglers run aircraft that you can kind of do a circle pattern to slow down in enough speed to make landing on a short strip a little bit easier. I'm a little bit more intimidated with this aircraft, and partially it's because you can't do hard landings with it. If you take it down too hard, it's gonna explode. And I don't know if you've had a lot of experience with the smugglers run aircraft, but that isn't often the experience. In fact, with the Bombushka, you can ram it right into, you can fly it directly into a mountain and it won't crash. And I've taken some hard landings in the Pyro and the Starling, and it survived quite well. It's a bit unfair to be starting off with the VTOL. I guess it's a good reminder that this is another reason why this is a better aircraft. But let's turn that off and do a standard takeoff so we get an idea of how different it is from the Lazer. So you can tell that the acceleration is not as great as the Lazer. Although if you'll remember that the top speed does beat out. Way more stable and easy to land the Hydra. Okay, concluding remarks. I think Rockstar played it bad. Right now, the gaming industry is dealing with a kerfuffle over microtransactions and their role in games going forward. Rockstar looks bad for releasing this jet in an environment where gamers are suspicious of money grabs. You know, it's a funny balance that Rockstar has to find a way to move forward while remaining in the good graces of the gaming community who love this game. Now that said, I think that, I started playing this game this year, in April, end of April actually. Now people who have been playing this game since the beginning, and maybe have been playing over 4 years, are jaded. But you can see that maybe Rockstar didn't quite anticipate that their game would scale out this much and retain this much interest. But I think that they really need to look at if they're spending enough time focusing on this game. And I don't mean just with this release. I think there's a sentiment growing that of dissatisfied gamers. And I think Rockstar can fight that and get in the good graces of the gaming community. But I think that, even from Rockstar's perspective, that, hey, they were, perhaps back when they decided to release it, they were like, hey, let's just throw out the Lazer. Let's just give it to them at the very end. And, they don't have to buy it, but we'll just give it a high price. And those that have the money can buy it. I mean, maybe they considered it as, we'll just give it, why not? Instead of carefully considering like what a price tag means to gamers in this game. People reduce that to a real work cost, that when an item is priced too high, it causes people to have an emotional reaction about it. Even if this jet is not something that's going to be valuable in the game, it's not a useful item, especially if you have the Hydra. The Hydra is better in every way, nearly. It's not about that. It's about generating good feelings while still not, just giving in to the community. Rockstar doesn't need to listen to the users about how to make a game, because the users don't know how to make a game. But they do know what they like. Or they don't know what they like. They know what they don't like. Or they're very vocal about what they don't like. And I think Rockstar needs to listen to what gamers don't like. Because that's the most... gamers don't talk about what they like because it's almost innate. It's something that's always going in the background, and they don't need to discuss it because it's what's effective at the time. But they're very vocal about what they don't like. And... the other thing is, like, gamers, if you listen to the rabble, you'll often get an idea that they want everything. But there's a balance with making a game something that you play because it's a challenge that requires effort to unlock, and balancing that with making it an intolerable grind that jades players. Well, anyway, I've spoken too long on this. I just wanted to get out a few sentiments on this controversial plane release at the end of Smuggler's Run. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this review/commentary opinion piece. I'll be back with more non-controversial opinions and GTA content very shortly. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.